it's created this monetary flow of energy that literally teaches the bot to act degenerate if it needs to. It'll literally go trade the stupidest things just because it needs to act as if it's really flowing through an economic flow of energy, which is why, the Atropa dev is also coming out with his layer 2, because he thinks that the prices are going to pump so high that it's probably going to need its own layer 2 at that point. Even with the Deacon upgrade, that there might already be a reason for a layer 2.
What do you say that again about what layer 2 is going to pump so hard?
Yeah. Well, not going to pump so hard, but it's going to pump hard. The guy that created Atropa is also going to be launching his own layer 2, and it's going to be a decentralized video game it's kind of like Insomnia, which is like World of Warcraft on steroids. And what it's going to do, it's going to start creating a way for blockchain to decentralize. It's going to create the real world to start decentralizing the blockchain through DAOs and through money markets inside the video game, right? And then also the things that you saw Richard post about the NFTs, and what also the dev was doing was you can literally take a wallet address and plug it into a YouTube video, and you can literally start monetizing your YouTubes and literally finding videos and stuff literally based off your OX address, 0x address itself. So that's another real world aspect that he had thought of as a marketing tool. Like when we were first finding out about the Atropa dev, we were going in and we were finding out things like you plug this thing in and the K-pop song would pop up. And we're like, what the fuck is this? And all of a sudden the song was Teddy Bear. And all of a sudden we're like, wait, he launches a token called Teddy Bear. And we're like, what is going on? So it's a type of technology that, they're going to be introducing, I believe, to where it's, they're decentralizing certain aspects of real world without even people recognizing that they're working in a decentralized manner. Right, and then that's kind of like what I always thought DeFi would do, would be able to kind of not sneak behind the scenes, but literally you'll be working behind, be using blockchain technology without even recognizing that you're using it. Especially for a video game like Insomnia, or if like World of Warcraft had it, right? Like that's where I first got into Bitcoin and stuff, but it never used it in a decentralized manner. Bitcoin wasn't quite around at the time yet; it was still being developed and. But I mean, it came around eventually. That's why I even got into it. I got into Bitcoin early, fumbled the bag, but yeah, I feel like that's kind of his vision. James is he's a great dude. He's a little off the wall, but I think he's playing a multi-character type thing. I think that's his role is for him to be a little bit chaotic, a little bit psychotic, because I believe it's more than just him behind the scenes helping out as far as Maker and other people are concerned. I think it's just a little bit more hands and a little bit more feet involved, just because of the scale of and complexity of everything. I believe what he built is a decentralized MakerDAO. He figured out a way to build a decentralized MakerDAO that protects DAI, that does not need vaulting, because the way that it works, because the way that it routes money. It's a monetary system that routes money in a certain way that decentralizes the actual ecosystem and protects DAI as well.
So the Richard being there on October 24th is low to zero. There's a whole lot of info. So unless he's called to testify, he probably won't show up. Like
Nice.
I think he has to be called. Sure. But they want, I guess, like, it was really unusual for these types of motions for anybody to show up in a court like that. They have little public interest. So the fact that there were so many people there just for this last hearing showed tremendous support for Richard. So that's why, like, the community is calling for, like, as many people as possible.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, what if the chain is pumping and everyone's making money, he shows up. I bet you anything. If we're pegged, we're paired, he shows up, no doubt.
So technically, pegging is a whole consensus that keeps it at $1. So as long as it stays at $1 with relative growth in terms of depth with the liquidity, then it doesn't actually need the MakerDAO. It won't actually require the MakerDAO vaults to keep it.
Exactly. Yeah, pegged. Not at all.
It's gonna require a bunch of ratio. So right now, if you do the math with 201 times 201, there's an instance, or other words, opportunity of around times 201, 40,000 pairs of liquidity that could be paired to each other. So 40,000 different pairs that that will offer arbitrary opportunities to each other. So
I mean,
That's
but
possible.
no,
Eat that up
pegging.
alive.
No, I understand what you mean in terms of bringing it to that, and then, but pegging means that it stays at that price. You know, like
yeah. So what's
if
gonna
one,
happen is
Yeah.
it's gonna take it to
like,
$1, but over like a year and a half, it's gonna be very volatile. It's gonna probably range from like 65 cents to like $1.40, and it's gonna keep trying to find its relative dollar range.
Until that next token launches, where Maker has a token that literally fluctuates 75 to 25 cents, and then that will be also helping it once.
But
mean,
the truth is, the whole system doesn't require the secret formula. The secret formula is already working, and it just takes up to 2 years for it to actually, fully peg.
and you're talking about
$1 is not
liquidity
pegging.
building. You're talking
Yeah.
about liquidity building to get to those levels with those
Moving around,
pairs to
yes.
Yeah,
have
but
stability.
the way the system works is when it
Correct.
builds the liquidity, it
Correct.
also unlocks it. So it's kind of like a video game. Really weird, but since the largest pairs are Atropa and DAI, everything pushes up the DAI value, and then the
They
DAI
have to feed it.
value is able to burn and push up the Atropa value. But once it reaches $1, the DAI value will start building a value proposition for the Atropa side, and then that's when it's able to start supporting a peg.
Well, then PDI will stay the same and Atropa will moon.
Yes, exactly. Now you're starting to understand
Yes.
it. And then,
Yeah, exactly. That's the
randomly
whole
it'll
point.
start having fluctuative times where it'll go to like 60 cents or like $1.25. But overall, Atropa's main goal with the other 200 contracts is to keep it as dollar stable as possible. But it's doing it through nature and without a collateral reserve. So expect the unexpected.
Yeah, but this is all great and speculative, but yeah, that's fun, but that's not a stable coin.
It's not, but at the same time, it's the market's going to figure out what it wants to price it for. So, Rick, tell them what happened with only gifts when you did all the random pairs with the different prices, and they all found the same parity.
Oh yeah. Well, correct. That didn't matter what I did. I set all the ratios the same. One was $84, one was $3, one was 0.006, one was 0.00001, and 3 days later I came back and all of them were the exact same price across all the pairs.
So it's an equalization system that tries to find arbitrage, and you know what? Sometimes it'll sacrifice value if it knows it's going to make money. If it thinks it's going to make money later, it's really weird. But it'll stall on a trade and take maybe like a 6% loss, and then the next one it'll take like a 20% gain.
But and we still don't know exactly what Atropa is going to do. The Atropa might be what helps it keep it peg, help it keep it around that peg. It's never going to peg at $1 ever because no stablecoin really ever does. But I mean,
no, but it's going to keep unlocking more liquidity depth. So the whole idea is
right, and also the more swinging that it does, the more AMMs and the more bots that get the front run and make profit.
So when you think of a meme coin, you never want to extend further than 10% liquidity ratio because then it gets too difficult to start growing. But with the stable coins, you're gonna the only thing you have is the liquidity pool. So eventually the liquidity pools will just keep growing and growing and growing and growing and growing.
And that will build it up.
Well, what's all the thing with MakerDAO protocol and the vaults and all this if that's not necessary then? So what's the story?
So I'm pretty sure they're talking about the actual Spark DAO and the vaults being deposited with Richard Hart's with the sacrifice money. So the sacrifice money from the Pulsechain and Pulsex have been seen going into Spark Finance's vaults, and he's receiving a collateral of Spark DAI, savings DAI, which is valued at $1.07.
I'm talking about within Pulsechain. So right now we're saying that the wallets that have touched it, they turned it on and they've been collateralizing, so we know that they're in control of it. So somebody's in control of it. Somebody's playing with it, right? That's all on chain, so everybody can see that.
Yeah, right. I haven't looked much into it, so Sponge would know.
Yeah. So if that is the case, then
it's just another method. It's another method, I believe, to help it.
Yeah, but that would be the smartest. I mean, that would be the smartest and least volatile way to do it then.
Probably.
But
yeah, it makes sense. No, I agree. I think, like you said, expect the unexpected. But and I think, I need to go back and read that.
Atropa go up forever. Atropa would literally go to $10,000.
Yeah.
So because a lot of value is being sucked out of Atropa to go into thing. A lot of impermanent loss is being. It's called sacrificial impermanent loss.
I think that he's filling up those vaults for the cross chain stuff. But, I mean, who knows? We just don't know.
It may not have, because remember, Richard wants to create an algorithmic. He doesn't want to make it collateralized. So it would be stupid to start collateralizing the vaults.
Well, he did.
Maybe
He did talk. He did talk about what if I took a stable coin and I made it to where I put so much collateral in it that it couldn't be pegged.
That it could not be pegged. Yeah.
Correct. If you put so much collateral in it, or just it could be another method. I mean, just another fail safe as you know, liquidity is being built up inside of the things. You know.
Well, Richard does not have any liquid assets right now in the system that would allow him to peg the thing 1-to-1 with liquidity, because he cannot do it with Pulse.
That's what I said. Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I thought neither is Pulsex. We saw that one whale threw a tantrum and dumped 1.2 million or 1.8 million.
Yeah.
He dropped the whole ecosystem by 20%. So this whole ecosystem's illiquid by design right now. So there's no pegging the stable coin with Pulse. It's going to be through algorithms. To a penny we march.
I hope.
In April.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some reading up on
Sponge.
it. Yes, I'm gonna do some reading up on it, and then I can get back to you too. But yeah, let's go, Sponge. Go ahead.
What's up?
Yeah, so Sponge, so give me your idea of how you see things being played out, like how it started, how it's going, and what you foresee, like, if you don't mind.
Okay. So the whole way the system started out was a random address launching shitcoins and basically liquidity farming, and basically just trying to engage a hand from the community. All of a sudden, it starts interacting with the DAI stablecoin contract. Starts buying up a lot of the stablecoins.
That's right.
Even though the contract's still minting on the maker side. The second some mysterious transactions go through, the maker's contract disables the DAI minting. All of a sudden, the same contract that's been accumulating a bunch of DAI stablecoins starts creating a bunch of contracts. The same contract starts creating a bunch of pairs and liquidity pools, and these liquidity pools start growing pretty largely. And then you notice that the same stablecoin that your friends were joking about buying and being millionaires just went up like 4,000x in like 7 days. So all of a sudden, fast forward October, there's around 89 contracts on the market, and all of them are trading and buying each other. And people are speculatively creating theories because they have zero information. This is when the pinnacle of the theory starts. And you have a bunch of people that are, coming together and thinking this is the next system. And this is when I marked the whole theory that Richard wouldn't just leave this dangling for the community to be harmed by. So if it were truly harmful, he would have called it out. Just like he if he's willing to kill EHEX, he's willing to, call out something pretty bad that's, attracting people and misleading people. But nothing happened. And all of a sudden, the entire ecosystem collapsed. The ecosystem gave people an opportunity to buy it, maybe a 20x drop, maybe 10 to 20x drop on average across the board, and people refused. Fast forward to January, we hit all-time highs, and the market sentiment starts changing because people start coming to Pulse, and then people start leaving Pulse. But this whole system, people realize that regardless of the volume, it's still going up. And it's very weird because regardless of 10 million on the market or 15 on the market or 85 million like today, it's still going up the same trajectory. Makes zero sense if you think about it. But mathematically, if you understand how it works, it's all plugged in together, so it does make sense. And fast forward to relatively this time, Richard's finally tweeted. Richard's starting to confirm that he agrees with the value of the DAI stablecoin, regardless of his efforts behind it or not, which is exactly what this whole decentralized movement's about. There you have DAI stablecoin on Pulsechain.
A decentralized mechanic of it, and even more decentralized whenever MakerDAO launches their chain.
Gotcha. And what do you foresee it happening like from now until the future then, of what would be the ideal outcome of all of this playing out?
Slowly moves to $1, and natural depegs on both sides. So depegging to $1.10 or to 90 cents, or maybe even a bit more depth on both sides. Obviously look out for those.
I don't think it's ever going to peg. I don't think it's ever. Yeah, it's never going to peg.
I think protocols will be coming out that'll allow people to swap 1-to-1 for their stables. properly, so it's proper stable swaps. So
and maybe farms too. You know, maybe ink
yeah,
farms for like
the
for, you know,
farms will lower the slippage and increase the depth in those
and
pools, so
and that
people
might
can
be the
start.
MakerDAO.
Yeah.
And that might be what MakerDAO is used for. The vaults for MakerDAO might be used for vaulting, to help collateralize or to help pair and like use as a farm.
The reason why liquidity is such a good name for the value of money that flows through a chart and stuff is because, yeah, it is cash flow, liquidity, but also water is the strongest thing on this planet, just like Torrens tapped into before. You cannot beat water. So, yeah, like it's the real flow of money.
Yeah,
so
he just
all
lines
these
up crazy.
pools, all these pools are about it's all about just growing these pools and making them deeper. The deeper that they are, the wider they are, the more people can dive into them from a higher.
Yeah, and the less and the less they have to arbitrage the bots. Because if you went in and you dumped 400 million just into Pulsex, that would literally get spread out across so many different pairs, and that would just be depleted within moments because you're throwing too much money into one pair. You make sure when you're doing it, you would have to literally collateralize them all at the exact same time, at the exact same amount of money for it to you know reach a consensus across the board, or equilibrium across the board. And that's what Stability AI, the AI protocol that he's using, is built to do. As long as there's liquidity there, and as long as the bot and the nodes are running, 60% of the nodes are running this Stability Diffusion or Stability AI stuff. That's what it's designed to do. It's like continuously. It breaks it down. It's like you have a thing of marbles. You drop them on the floor, and they spread evenly across the floor, no matter what you do. Throw them all over there, throw them all over there, it doesn't matter. Eventually they find their way back to an equilibrium of spreading the marbles out completely evenly across the floor. Yeah, it's going to be wild.
One of the other things we're really seeing that's fascinating too with the Atropa system and is the way that not only the ratios that he's holding between pools, which also could become, you know, more automatic through the bots, but the way that he limits paths so that you have to use you have to buy certain tokens to get to other tokens, and then there's, you know, a lot more slippage that you'd have to eat to do that, to be able to, you know, negatively or even positively affect the price. So it's a building process that's going on. If you look at James in the 414, you know, in depth, you know, there's some calls that he's made that haven't quite worked out yet, and he's also had, you know, benevolent whales that have, you know, caught on, or not just caught on, but gotten very interested and very committed to his system, and are watching every one of his moves very closely, and even thinking that they're helping, and then you know, but not quite understanding and making their own moves, and then he has to actually counteract them because it goes against his plan. So he's getting tighter and tighter with the community, doing these meetups and explaining more and more to people, but he's letting his plans out and his alpha out slowly.
That's why he wants us to build a system like his, because they know that it's going to take more systems like that for this to continue to work out. It's not just going to be his system. It's going to have to be a community effort for it to actually work. It's not going to just be one man doing one thing,
and ultimately,
one community doing one thing.
It's not just about PETA either. It's all three of the main stables and PWBTC, and even, you know, more going forward, like even possibly all of them. So it's a tremendous undertaking, but
that's
you gotta. Yeah, it's incredible though. Like the guy's he's way above. I mean, and he's been at this for 30 years, you know, crypto and cryptography and all of the theory behind it, and he's got a lot of money.
Are you talking about Maria?
Yeah, I mean, his name's actually James, but yeah, it's in his, yeah, James Maria 414, all synonyms.
Gotcha. So I heard that James's plan is to sell Atropa to Richard or something like that, to hand it over. What was that?
What?
Was that just...
No. It was it? I never heard that.
I thought I heard that somewhere.
There is a wallet called Atropa Zandi, something like that. He said he won't sell it for anything less than $1 billion. So it have all these pairs and it have 30 bears, PDI, Atropa. So it's a collection of everything that is building. Yeah, so he's waiting for the value to go over $1 billion and then he sell it.
Yeah, I heard something like that. Yeah,
that's awesome. So then that could be interesting. It might be the community that does it. We might have the value to do it. That would be dope. Everyone in the community steps in and buys it.
With a DAO, yeah.
There is an
Right.
L2 coming. We don't know anything about it yet, but
No,
there
I
is an
know that.
L2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that L2. Yeah, I did talk about that a little bit, but I don't know enough about it.
Nobody does. There's been no information.
Right.
I'm assuming it's going to use Atropa as gas, but we don't really know. If it did, that would be the effect that it would have on Pulse and on Atropa itself would be insane, to say the least.
I mean, worst case scenario. I mean, if you got your RAT BTC, just make sure you take some profits out of the. If it reaches that level, sneak some profits out just to make sure.
What levels?
Because I know
Parity levels?
I would say,
Oh,
yeah, I
um,
would. That's just
here is what James said, right, about the wallet. He said that is why the treasury bill is mintable and Trabizon treasury wallet that controls the contract is potentially for sale, not for anything less than $1 billion. So the Trabizon treasury wallet controls the contract.
because I think
Yeah.
that Tropa seems like it's the key to
Well,
the system
James is really building like
exactly. It's accumulated so much of the circle of the supply, and then burnt so much of the supply and paired it with the Tropa, so it can't go anywhere else.
the way I understand it, he's trying to replace basically every financial instrument from the traditional
Yes.
system.
Finance,
Like bonds.
Yeah, that's what me and someone else were talking about a couple months ago.
It's a monetary policy. It's its own vision of monetary theory.
Yeah, and it's super advanced. I mean, the guy really knows what he's talking about. It's incredible.
Pretty
He
sure.
also said the idea is to just before that message, he said that the idea is to eventually meet the definition for insurable banking. Yeah, just before that message. So yeah.
To ensure one more time. What did you say?
He said just before that message, he said the idea is to eventually meet the definition for insurable banking. That is why the treasury bill is mintable and Tabizoni treasury wallet that controls the contract is potentially for sale. And then Kofi asked, what is the minimum price you'd accept? Maria said $1 billion. Yes.
There is a Maria. We found the actual Maria that he based it. She probably most likely is a part of this. So when we say Maria James, there is a Maria. Like, that's a fact.
Yeah.
He's definitely not doing it alone. There's definitely a team.
Yeah, and he's actually working with a bunch of the community members now too. But
yeah, I think
and more going forward. He's gifted many wallets that he's seen whale wallets that have acted in benevolent ways. He's generated tokens and then given only those wallets abilities, to mint specific tokens. And there's I think quite a few of them. It's hard to follow everything. It's there's a graph in our chat of all of his tokens somewhere in there. Literally, it's like so many tokens.
And I got a list. It's at
there's a map too.
Now.
There's a map too. If I can find that map.
Their last one got launched last month, I believe. So they're still releasing tokens.
Yeah, he also said that he would some of this stuff was starting to get kind of speculative, and if it works out, he would keep going. And if it didn't work out, he was going to stop or something. He didn't know if it was completely done yet, or
Well, that. And
so where's James from? Where did James come from? Like, is he like a hex guy, or is he just out of nowhere, just randomly saw
No, he definitely had hex. He definitely held hex. I know for a fact there was hex in that 414 wallet. But that's all.
I mean, nobody knows where the dude's from. Like, all of a sudden, this guy appears and is trying to do what he's doing and trying to.
Well, no, see, I think they I think they met on Testnet and likely saw what maybe saw what each other were doing. Maybe they've known each other.
There's a really old video of him. I think it's from FOSDEM, from the mid 90s. But yeah, he's been a computer science guy for going way back, and very high level. He's worked for NASA and what is it, IBM, and I don't know. I mean, his resume. Yeah,
a lot of people think that him and him alone are the ones that are gonna It's going to be find the peg and find the pair.
His name is James Ellis Osborne the third. I
Yeah.
think if you, I'll try and find the link.
Was it not?
Yeah,
Was it
there's
like
a
Greece?
video of Richard that 6 years ago saying that he have a co-founder scientist who's working at NASA selling CF what and they are those CFD they are making companies $60 million, yeah, something like that. So who is a scientist and worked at NASA? It is James. So it's like 6 years ago
when did
they
Richard
knew each other.
6 years
When
ago.
did Richard say this?
Yeah, I will send. Should I send a video, like a link to YouTube on this group?
Yeah. Link it to this room so we can watch that. That's awesome. If that's the case, man, this web is deep.
Yeah. No, dude, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. We believe,
Like, can you imagine like planning something like this for like 10 years in advance before even creating Pulsechain? And
they have been,
you know what I mean, like
Hex before Hex was around, because they knew what was happening, I believe, and that's there's a guy named Codex that like said that he kind of traced things back to even before that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He's in deep, and he has a lot of crazy theories. So
we don't actually know who built Pulsechain. What if James was actually one of the people that helped build it? It's not out of the realm of
well, of course, I would think so, because I mean they pegged it to $1. They did the same thing on the testnet, apparently, right?
Yeah, like
quickly,
because we don't really know who built Pulsechain.
P-Dye got pegged to $1 on testnet. I didn't know that. What's the story behind that?
Oh yeah, he launched the exact same type of ecosystem over there, but he didn't have to finish it because there was so much money flowing in and no money flowing out that he was able to peg really quickly. And I can tell you right now that they copied more than Pulsechain more than once. They copied BSC more than once. They probably copied Bitcoin more than once. I'm sure that they've copied every single chain more than once, and they probably copied Bitcoin for all kinds of reasons, and for different testing and just that's their passions, for sure.
I mean, if my Bitcoin goes to parity, then thank you, Jesus.
It is. It is. I believe it is. It might not stay there right away at first, but I believe it's going to go to parity, and it's going to eventually stay there.
I mean, I'd be so rich.
He literally.
From everything that I've seen him do, and now he's doxed himself and everything. There's no reason for him to be a malicious actor. Like, that wouldn't benefit him in any way.
Exactly. I think a lot of people felt that way until they weren't sure until he kind of built up, and then giving wallets to people, and then all of a sudden showing his face. I think that was a big thing for the community.
Did anything else go to parity? Did Bitcoin go to parity or anything like that on testnet, or was it just P-Dye?
Oh no, everything, dude, everything. No, that wasn't just P-Dye. Pretty much everything went to parity. Talking some of the tokens that right now that are actually dog shit were worth millions. My tokens that I sacrificed, like $300 for, were worth $9 million on testnet. Like, not only did stuff reach parity, like stuff performed extremely well that didn't perform here.
Yeah, man. On testnet, I was farming, and I was making like 20 million a day on testnet.
Exactly. So the one thing that we know is going to work, we knew that works, and I believe the one thing that he knows will work, for people that didn't sacrifice into things that that people don't have much more control over than him, which is Rat BTC, in my opinion, P-Dye, in my opinion, because all the holders of P-Dye and stuff are all like Maker, Aave things. So I think that those have and then Atropa itself is a more decentralized actual protocol. It's not, doesn't have big sacrificers and people that are dumping or that are upset. So I think that those are the safer plays, and I think that yes, there's going to be big volatility. And I do know for a fact he bought before the chain launched. Since he was in the Maker, in the Maker circle, there was transactions going across the chain where he was collecting and purchasing some of the Rat BTC from the MakerDAO guys, because he was paying way overpriced for it, or whoever it was paying way overpriced for it, so he could collect a lot more of the actual Rat BTC on the.
Anybody know how much of the Rat BTC is on the wallet? Like, I see the top addresses, but do you guys know how much? Like, out of the 150,000,
I believe it's 90%. So that'll be 15,000 circulating.
15,000 is
super low. A lot of it on before the copy happened, and then he bought more before the chain launched, right?
So we'll go above Bitcoin's price for a little bit, and then they'll open up the wrap, and then that'll push us push us down to parity, and we'll equalize. And then you can consider your Bitcoin.
I would think so too.
And if that happens, then that'd be freaking crazy.
Well,
don't forget about me.
Yeah, literally, don't forget about me. Just wait. Just everybody who's sticking around and supporting is gonna have their jaws on the floor.
Because everyone's been everyone's been shaken out. Everyone's been shooken out. Everyone's been shooken out. Everyone, and he's done that on purpose because he knows.
Wasn't there FUD on
the people that support him and hang through the ones?
BTC?
Yes,
like I remember, didn't
he said something about he did the FUD himself, saying, "Oh well, it has keys." Okay, but if it has keys, he owns the supply. What does it matter if there's keys? Because he owns Maker. Like technically, he's running MakerDAO on ETH. He's running MakerDAO over here for sure. So there's keys.
He also FUD'd a Bitcoin, didn't he? He said, "Hey, that's not the real Bitcoin, guys."
Yeah. That's how Richard rolls.
But he owns all of it, like in his wallet.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. But people are just they don't do. Yeah.
There's a lot to be interpreted by the way he tweets about things, like people jump to conclusions and get emotional because he doesn't necessarily say that's fake. It's he was just pointing out so people knew, that there was two different, Bitcoins. There's copies, and the same thing with ETH. A lot of people, there's both sides of the argument, which are valid now, because we really don't know what ETH whales are going to do when they all of a sudden discover they have a bunch of value. Like if they have all of a sudden notice their bags are doubled, why would they just immediately sell? We don't know. Some might go one way, some might go the other way. We just don't know. But like he's being transparent in my mind. He's never really said anything either way. He's just pointing things out. Like without really
free stuff over here. Come check this out.
Because I thought the same thing with Bitcoin. Like, are people gonna start converting their Bitcoin to the other wrapped Bitcoin? But at the same time,
what's the point?
It's wrapped fucking Bitcoin either way.
Yeah, and with the oracles and then the cross chain oracles, and then if that's the case, then it wouldn't matter because even if you take it across the chain, you're gonna get the same price across the chain because there's parity across the chain because of the oracles being cross chain.
Oh so yeah. Especially if we get an equal amount of Bitcoin on the bridge, on both sides in the wrapping contract. If there's an equal amount of wrapped BTC on each side, we're done. It's
what did James say about the BTC bridge? He said when the BTC bridge happens, it's game over.
Yeah, it is game over because BTC liquidity is more important than DAI liquidity, in my opinion.
Exactly, that's what I was trying to say. I was saying like there's what's
this bridge? What is this bridge?
The bridge I was talking about. Yeah.
From the copy to the Ethereum side.
Correct.
I mean, is it being built, or what do you mean?
Yeah. Well, of course, but it's not about it being built. It's about the price being built to the point where it's actually supportive. So, we can't just
right now. We would get annihilated at the price.
If you look at the wrap BTC chart when it first launched in May and it spiked up to like 20. Yeah, is that what was that deal?
That was basically the DAI stablecoin copy side trying to reach the
being worth a lot too. Yeah, it like literally went up to and the DAI stablecoin literally was trying to run up to it was like $20. It was doing something crazy.
Yeah, and basically they were.
Yeah, I think he was throttling.
And the ratio.
I think he wants things to happen in a certain at a certain time, based on the market personally, but that's just a wild guess.
Yeah. Imagine buying $17 wrapped Bitcoin.
I might have done that.
I mean, I wish.
Hey, don't forget I
wish I would have known.
Or 300. I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, we got to get up there, so you got to buy it, low. We got to buy it up today, right? Like. The bots will do it.
I'm definitely, God, man. There's so many great places like that. Like Teddy Bear is another one that's just. There's no way, in my opinion, I end up being one of the off outside of the P
What
the P stuff because it's not. Go ahead.
I was gonna
The
ask you,
thing
what do
is
you
we need
guys,
the
what are
liquidity to come in. We need the whole chain's liquidity to come in. We don't want to funnel all the money out of everything else into one token and then have it all leave. It's got to be, the whole thing has to be organic, and we need money to come in from other chains first. And yeah, we know he's got a ton of money, but he's also said he's not into V3 because he doesn't like giving away free money. It's got to be a whole community effort.
So, what do you guys think is the most undervalued currently in Pulsechain ecosystem? What do you guys top three?
In
No
ratios,
comment.
I'm a
Wrap
Teddy
Bitcoin.
Bear's up there. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
agree with that.
ratio,
I think
price,
that's
whatever
bigger
it
than
may be.
Atropa.
Okay.
Well, the nice thing about Teddy Bear or any of the things that James created is there isn't really
No sacrifices.
well, and it's also
So
not directly linked to something else that has a narrative or a peg or something else that we have to match. It's just Teddy Bear's the meme, and it's tied into that whole system, which is based on strength, stability, and tech that we've never
and
experienced
Teddy Bear,
before.
yeah,
The
and,
best answer to
right,
give you
and
for
Teddy
the
Bear literally
ecosystem, the most
plays a major
undervalued
role.
assets are wrapped Bitcoin and USDC and USDT copies. Everything else has a freestyle value, just like I would say Atropa is fairly valued right now. Teddy Bear has a freestyle value because it's a meme coin. Even if it is tied to the ecosystem, it's still going to have a freestyle value because it's going to go up with the value of the assets it's tied to, plus its meme coin volatility. So it's got its extra little, it's got its little extra category to sit in, which is better in my opinion.
It's
But
very popular too. It's got a huge following already.
it's never gonna be dethroned. I don't think it's ever gonna be dethroned.
There's tokens paired to Teddy Bear's liquidity like Greenland that are very undervalued.
Correct.
So it gets pretty deep. The Atropa ecosystem is insane. There's something for everybody when you start digging into it.
I think MV is pretty undervalued, but we don't really know what MV does, so it's dangerous to touch. So I would say stay away from that one.
Yeah, and anything with the 666 supply, those are basically functional tokens that are just there to support liquidity and ratios. And so he said multiple times, don't buy those. But yeah, I love that there's something for everybody in the Atropa system. If you're just into memes and you don't want to play with the pegging narrative, or then you just buy Teddy. But if you really are into it and really want to geek out on the system, it gets really deep. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Just the strength of the community already, and it's been going on, hard since last July and earlier. But it really started picking up steam in July, and it brought a lot of people already in from other chains, and a lot of those people have gotten fully on board and are doing as much as they can now with their own systems to bring in people from other chains, and so it's
From this last dip. It's looking like the winner right now. What the market's choosing is PWBTC. It's appreciated the most out of everything pretty much, and it's steadily climbing. I think people are looking into the P narrative, the P die narrative, and I think people really want to get involved, and they're seeing Wrap Bitcoin as the next opportunity.
yeah,
Which is funny because I was telling everybody how it was undervalued for the past 3 days, and it's finally starting to go up. If you want to tell how it's undervalued, it should have the same amount of P die in ratio. So if you type in WBTC space DAI, and you scroll down for the right chart, it should be the die pair. You should look there should be around 70,000 die per wrapped BTC. If not, it's undervalued. I don't make the rules.
So theoretically, if the price of BTC dumps and it's currently at 40 something thousand, then we would be at parity, is what you mean, right?
Yeah. So wrapped BTC, when the DAI stablecoin, when you see on the right side of the if you look at the top right of the screen where it shows you all the numbers and values, the DAI, the number of DAI, represents the price. So right now we're technically at 43,577 DAI per wrap BTC. When it goes to 70,000, we'll be at parity in terms of ratios, and then it'll be DAI's turn to go to $1. So what happens is, the chart will push itself down, or the bots will sell the wrap BTC in for more DAI stablecoin, which pushes the price of DAI stablecoin up, which allows DAI stablecoin to buy other assets that are undervalued. And it does some weird like cap and trade methods where it creates more pools and thicker liquidity. And by doing this, it's able to create a ladder system where it pushes itself upwards in price. So the main work will always be done by the entire system pushing the assets around, but a lot of these assets are where they're supposed to be, which is why people are saying this is a mathematically formulated system, because if you check the ratios, everything basically adds up to be of value. You know, you have wrap BTC, and it's been the reason why you can tell that it's actually prominent in terms of math is because it's not what's it called? It's not being exposed to impermanent loss. People that are providing liquidity for DAI and wrap BTC are not receiving any impermanent loss right now because they're both going up in value at the same time, relatively. There will be points where you look at it and be a little scared, but then you'll see wrap BTC pump to $400 from a Richard Hart tweet and you'll start dancing.